Stop It and watch, listen to Stop It with Zach Peterson. Thank you for listening, watching, whatever you're doing. We appreciate it. With me today is stand-up comedian and friend Brad Wenzel. Brad, you have 2 minutes to tell people why you're here and why they should care.
Hey everybody, I'm Comedy Zone Brad Wenzel, and I'm here because I'm friends with Comedy Zone Zach Peterson.
That's right.
I'm actually we're doing shows in Omaha, and he was nice enough to ask me to be on his program. And if you guys want to check out my stand-up comedy, got a special on YouTube called Joke Joke Joke. It's good stuff. You know, I got a podcast out there if you want to check that out. If you want to see me live, go watch that special. And then if you're like, I like this, I want to support this comedian, then join my mailing list or follow me on Instagram. But bradcomedy.com, that's got the mailing list. I'm all about the mailing list. That's what the podcast is about.
What's the podcast
so
called?
The podcast is called Moment of Wins, and every week on the podcast I update the state of my grassroots movement. Yeah. To build a following of sorts. So I'll be like, this week I was in Omaha and I picked up 15. You know, the Zach Peterson bump was big. You know. Well. And so so if you and we also like I answer questions that like people send in, and I play like stand up clips from the road and stuff. So it's a fun little program. Okay. I co-host that with another comic, Blaine Hill. And then but watch the special. I would say start there. Okay. You know, see if you like my stand up and you're like, I like this guy, then maybe I'll convert you into a fan. You know, and then you can check out the podcast or join the mailing list or what have you. So I would say, I think that's a good, especially if you're already watching this on YouTube.
Why not?
You're halfway there. Just pull up the special and see if you like that.
Add it to your queue.
Yeah, put in the queue. It's like for free.
Right.
Yeah.
That's 2 minutes. That's 2 minutes. All right, now we start.
No problem.
Let's see. Does that pick up?
Stop it.
All right, good enough. It's not going to work. It's not a good button. It wasn't a quality button. I didn't sort it by star rating, which I should have.
I'm picking it up over here.
Okay. Yeah, that's all that matters. All right. If Omaha gets a football team, what's the mascot?
Do they already have is Huskers already a thing? Is that already a team?
Yeah, it's the college team.
Oh, they're already the Huskers?
Yeah, but like a professional, like an NFL team comes to Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah. The big Huskers?
Yeah, just larger Huskers?
Yeah, like Huskers, but we mean it. Also, I think the NFL, it would be kind of understood that the big Huskers would eat the regular Huskers alive. So I think you could call them the big Huskers. Locally, they would be called like the Biggies, the big boys, you know, the big bad guys. But they're formally like out of state. It would just be like, the big Huskers. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that could be good. Or the what else could they be? The agricultural tires.
Like the tractor tires?
Yeah.
Like the big old, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are pretty intimidating when they're rolling.
Yeah, exactly. Uh-huh. Yeah. That'd be a good logo. Just a big tire, you know.
Yeah. Tire on the side of the helmet.
Doesn't really roll off the tongue, the agricultural tires.
Yeah. The tires are up 14-3. That's something I'd love to hear.
Yeah, that could work. Big Huskers is better, I think.
Yeah, it's sort of like in Chicago, they have the Bears and the Cubs.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that kind of works.
Yeah. The larger Husker.
The larger Huskers, yeah.
Go to the Husker game. Which one?
Big Huskers, obviously.
Mm-hmm. We'll go to the next one.
All right.
I like the answer, though. Big Husker. Is there any objective morality, or are values just constructs?
I think there's objective morality.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I think there's a right and a wrong. You can feel it.
Nice. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
What is your morality? What do you think is the very right and what is very wrong?
Well, it's like, you got to treat others the way you want to be treated, right?
Yeah.
I think that most things work under that lens, you know? I think the problem you run into with that a lot of times is people are like, oh, but like, I wouldn't be like that though.
Okay.
And it's like, that's not what it means. It means if you were in those shoes, how would you want to be treated? Not like,
right.
Well, I wouldn't be in those shoes. It's how I think a lot of people
it's your fault for being in those shoes.
Yeah. Well, I would never be like that. It's like, that's not how it works.
Right.
You know, you're not allowed to judge that part.
Then what is bad?
Bad is, I guess like a lack of empathy or treating, screwing over everyone else on the off chance you're going to get ahead. You know,
I think
that's bad. And then just, violating human rights, you know.
You heard it here right first. Violating human rights, big thumbs down from Brad Wenzel.
Knock it off.
That's right. Stop it. Stop violating human rights.
Yeah.
Maybe if we had the button.
Could everybody just calm down?
I agree. Okay. Do you remember the early 2000s block of NBC shows on Thursday? The Office, 30 Rock, My Name is Earl, Parks and Recreations. That was pretty crazy. Those were all on the same night.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember watching that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was because that was later than the early 2000s. That was like the late 2000s.
Okay.
Mid to late. Because I remember watching that in high school. That was a big...
2007-ish?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that was in high school. That block was a big... You had to catch that so you could have something to talk about in a homeroom, you know, the next day.
Right.
You know.
What was your show out of that block?
Out of that block... Probably The Office was probably the big one out of that block. I'm gonna say, because then it shifted to then it was like Parks and Rec came in and Community.
That's when I left off there, but that's true.
So for me it was a little bit more Office, Parks and Rec, Community, and 30 Rock, and then that Molly Shannon had a show for like a year or two there. I remember. Didn't really. No, but I remember it was in that block. And so I guess if I had to pick, it was probably the Office. Seemed like the headline. That was the one everybody was talking about, you know.
Yeah, The Office became. I mean, that's like the cult classic. It's just a classic TV show.
Right.
Everyone loves. Everyone talks about.
I remember towards the end where Steve Carell left and Will Ferrell came in, and people, like by people I mean my cafeteria table, being like up in arms, and me just being like, let's just give it a chance. Yeah. Let's just see how it plays out. 'Cause I was like, Will Ferrell's funny. It could be good, you know. Yeah. And it didn't quite, you know.
Right.
I don't think that will be looked at as like the golden era of that show, you know. But
no.
But I remember being like, let's just hear him out. Let's just see what happens. You know?
But the James Spader character of Robert California was very funny. Like, that arc was great because he was like just a distant weirdo.
Yeah, he was extremely weird.
He's like the opposite of Michael, where he didn't he didn't care about anyone's approval,
right?
And didn't want to be friends with anyone,
right?
So that was a good, like, you know, different way to look at it. I forget what the word I want to use is.
Yeah, and The Office also pioneered a lot of sort of like comedic maneuvers that would shape things for years to come.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the My Name is Earl?
That was me doing the gym.
I did it with you.
Oh, okay.
That was good. I think it's good comic timing. It won't translate on the podcast, but it will.
Oh yeah, I forgot we were doing a pod.
I mean, it's both. It's audio and visual. It's like
all right. Well, I'm glad now I feel good that we called it out afterward for the audio listeners.
Yeah. He's got really
solid visual bit.
Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be upwards of 200 people are going to see it on my Instagram. So you better watch out.
I'll watch out.
Did you watch My Name Is Earl at all?
I remember watching it a little bit, yeah.
Underrated gem.
I haven't seen it in since it was on. But I remember watching it. I remember the dude, was it his brother? That was the dude who he was on Boy Meets World.
Oh yeah, Ethan Suplee.
I remember thinking that guy was really funny and stuff. I don't know if he's in stuff as much.
I think it doesn't hold up as well as say 30 Rock, which is has one of the best writer rooms of all time.
I need to rewatch 30 Rock.
Oh, some of the funniest jokes.
Yeah, 30 Rock was very funny.
Oh, it's so good.
I need to give it a good because I watched quite a bit of it, but I also missed swaths of it. You know, I need to just run it. You know,
it's on Peacock.
Yeah, I got Peacock.
Well, good. I'm glad someone does. All right. Okay. That was a good TV conversation. I'm having a barbecue. What are you bringing?
Chips.
Nice. That's all we need.
Yeah.
Don't need to go further into that. All right. Clay Aiken or Ruben Studdard? Wow, this must have been in the bucket for a while.
Obviously, Ruben Studdard.
Yeah. Ruben did win, didn't he?
He did win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he alive? I don't think he's alive anymore.
I don't know. But call in and vote.
Yeah.
If you want him to be alive or not.
1-800-HOT-HOGS. Call us. What is Clay Aiken still doing stuff?
I don't know. He had a presidential bid.
Did he?
No. But I don't know what he's up to. I remember he had that song "If I Were Invisible." That was his big hit.
Yeah.
And it was very I'm sure people had a field day stand-up comedy-wise with the lyrics of that song because it is very voyeuristic and odd.
Yeah.
It was about watching somebody, you know?
Yeah.
So, go back and probably watch a premium blend from that era. I bet they ripped it apart.
Yeah, I would suppose that the point of that question was just to make that single joke in the question. We have no more information.
No, we don't know anything about either of these guys.
No, we don't. Yeah.
Man, I hope they're both, doing all right. What a simpler time.
Yeah.
That was one of the very distinctly the internet is not a thing yet. That first season of American Idol was America watching how quaint that sounds.
Right.
Everybody was just earnestly watching a singing contest, and then you had to call in. And when that show first was on, it wasn't reality TV is an industry unto itself, and it's all kind of a grift. People really thought that this person was going to be the idol of America.
Right.
That first season, people really thought whoever wins this is going to be basic like Elton John or something. They're going to be propelled to such stardom that 20 years later, two guys on podcasts are going to know if they're alive or not.
Yeah. Who was the first Kelly
Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson.
She ascended, I
mean, that Since You've Been Gone song, that's an all-timer pop song.
Yeah.
You still hear everywhere.
Yeah.
You're in a dentist's
and
office.
she's got a talk show too, so.
That's right.
Yeah. So she's a mainstream. It did produce some mainstream stars, but I don't think that first season when people really thought that's what was, I don't think that necessarily was the case. There's also the country singer from that was very
Carrie Underwood?
Yeah, she's very.
Is she from
American Idol?
Okay.
Yeah.
What about
I think
Soul
those
Patrol?
are the two.
Remember
exactly.
Soul Patrol?
I think that might have been when it fell off, right?
Taylor
Soul
Hicks?
Patrol.
Soul Patrol?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Is anyone else out there on Soul Patrol still?
Yeah, I hope he's doing all right. He's out there on patrol.
I bet they still make it a living.
Yeah, they're probably. I feel like those people maybe end up in Vegas or something.
Right. There's probably a American Idol review. That travels and does Orpheum's type places, the downtown theaters, or maybe and people say that county fairs is a bad gig. Yeah, but you're getting paid a good amount of money. And there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, because the thing is those the folks on those shows. I'm sure not everybody, but like for the most part, it's like they're not songwriters.
Right.
Which is like where the money is, but they can sing really well.
Uh-huh.
And so like really you're making all your money from gigs. Because even like that Clay Aiken song, like he probably didn't write that song.
I wouldn't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
We're
but
going this blind.
And so like everybody's going on there and singing covers.
Yeah.
It's all people who can sing really well, but like aren't necessarily musicians.
Right.
And so like songwriters. And so it's like, yeah, you could be, even if you were doing had like a residency or were doing lounges or something, it's like you're probably making money that way.
Yeah, you got the celebrity and you got the covers and you're good.
Yeah.
You know what? It did fall off, and this is a bit.
Wait, wasn't the one guy the band an American Idol?
Daughtry.
Daughtry was that American Idol?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's pretty. That
big.
Band was big.
Yeah.
Because I remember the thing about Daughtry, which I've not thought about in a long time. I remember everyone saying like he sold like 1 million records, and that was like a bygone thing at that point. Like they were like, no one sells 1 million records anymore.
That's for Daughtry.
But he had sold like 1 million records.
Well,
and can I also I don't like any of this. Nothing against them personally. I just that did not produce any music that I enjoy.
This is stuff that happened around me.
Yeah. It's an interesting pop culture phenomenon.
But you know,
Simon Cowell was mean.
That's right.
That was like kind of the big
Randy
thing.
and Paula had had some sort of problems with possibly medication. I don't know. On some interviews, but the big fall off, and this is something that's like really macabre and sort of no one talks about, was that, back at the early...
You can't patrol soul.
Back at the early, American Idols, the first few episodes, the reason why people watched was to sort of make fun of the people that couldn't sing,
right?
That went in there and sort of just like embarrassed themselves. And one of those people, like, I think they shot themselves in front of,
Whoa.
And so
I did not know that.
So they stopped putting like bad auditions on TV.
Right.
And
yeah, that's really mean. That is also a very like, what year was this? 2000?
Yeah. Right.
That's a very like zero like thought put into it, kind of thing.
Like, let's make fun of these obviously damaged human beings. Yeah. So they had to remove that, and after that, the sort of the morbid curiosity of watching people fail and be delusional went away. So it just wasn't as popular.
Right. Yeah, I'm glad that never found its way to stand-up comedy.
Zing. All right, moving on to the next one. What do we got? What should we do about global warming?
We gotta do something, huh? Anything?
Yeah, right. That's a good answer.
You gotta do something.
Yeah. I don't have the answers.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not, but I would start at anything.
Right. I think that would be a good start.
Probably be good.
I think starting would be a good start.
Public transportation, like trains and stuff.
There we go.
Like that would be, because it's like worst case. All right, let's say the biggest skeptics of it are correct. Let's say I don't believe that, but let's say they're correct, and then it's all make believe or whatever. Which again, I don't believe that. I think the scientists are right, but let's just say. And then you invest in all this infrastructure and create all these jobs. It's like, oh, great. Now we just have really accessible trains to get everywhere. And a bunch of people are employed. Yeah. And it's like, who cares? Yeah, you should just do that anyway.
Right.
There's not a big, loss. It's just,
I think the stuff like getting rid of the plastic straws, I think that's the worst stuff you can do, because it's all like
trivializes
exactly.
And it puts it on the individual, when in reality it's like the big corporations.
Yeah.
Right, which isn't a hot take, but it's like that's kind of what it is.
It's industry. And then the last thing we want to do mostly the world, but in the United States, is tell industry what to do because that's it's the bread and butter of American capitalism is is industry.
Well, that's they can't you can't have trains because the airlines are right. Oh,
I like a train.
Yeah, trains would be great. Especially it's like on the East Coast and everything's like close. And the idea that people are flying between some of those cities where it obviously could be a short train ride, stuff like that,
And I took a train from Chicago to South Bend, Indiana, and I felt like I was, in the 1950s and a businessman with a briefcase. It felt cool.
Oh man, can you imagine in the age of smartphones and Wi-Fi, train travel?
Yeah,
we could be watching so much Peacock. We could just be running 30 Rock on a train.
Right,
be great.
I'd love it. I'd love a train.
It'd just be cheaper. So sorry.
All right, sorry.
I didn't mean to.
I thought we were winding down.
Cut that out.
We were winding down the
train. It would be
talk.
cheaper than flying.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see my socks. I'm sorry about that.
I don't think you can.
Okay. Are feet in this?
No feet.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's in my contract.
I just realized that I probably look goofy. My socks are out.
Oh, okay. What thing could they increase the cost of, but you would buy it regardless?
Ugh. I don't want to say it because you're going to do it. I know a lot of influential people listen to Stop It, and
well, yeah.
When Bezos sees this, and I know he's going to see it,
he's going to see it. He subscribes and he comments on everything.
Well, that's what I think they learned that was. I feel like coming out of the pandemic, they were like, "Oh, that's food." It's they went, "Oh, people have to eat to not die, so we could just."
Right.
What are they going to do? Not eat? Yeah.
Kill their own game.
So I feel like they're kind of doing that.
Right.
You might, not buy certain, but ultimately you are gonna get food,
Any certain food? Any coffee?
Yeah, I need coffee. Yeah, that's a perfect one actually. Yeah, if that was stupid, I would feel I have a caffeine dependence.
Yeah.
So that's probably number one.
It's a big one for me, and it's already
expensive. I drink a pot of coffee every day.
Right.
Yeah.
And what kind do you drink?
Brown. It's brown.
Brown coffee?
Yeah, brown hot.
Oh, okay.
But no, I personally I like Tim Hortons.
Okay.
It's so I live in Michigan and Canada. It's a big Canadian chain, but it spills over into Michigan.
I'm familiar with Tim Hortons.
So I'm a big Tim Hortons fan.
Yeah, they got some good sandwiches.
I like the coffee.
Yeah, I do the Dunkin' coffee.
It's all right.
Yeah, you had it today.
Oh yeah, I actually, you know what? It was really good.
Thank you. All right.
Because I've had some. You know what it is I've bought the Dunkin' decaf just to have some decaf around, and I just it doesn't. I don't think I like decaf coffee. I'm realizing.
Well, I'd buy decaf because I'm like, what if it's 8 o'clock and I want a cup of coffee?
That's what I did. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. But and then I was just like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
But I think I was putting that on Dunkin'. But then literally I was drinking coffee this morning that you made that was Dunkin'. I remember thinking this is above average. This is good. It's
pretty good.
It's pretty good.
You know another kind that I sometimes get is the McDonald's one.
Yeah, McDonald's is my drive-through coffee of choice. And then someone told me at one point they got the Tim Hortons coffee of old.
Okay.
Someone told me this is me secondhand repeating this, but it was somebody told me, which is that not what podcasting is? A guy kind of remembering something, someone, and then people live their lives on that. And, but it's someone told me that the Canadians were mad because Tim Hortons is great, but then Burger King bought Tim Hortons and they're fucking it up. And then at some point they changed the coffee, but then at some point, this is what I was told, McDonald's scooped up the coffee that was the Tim Hortons coffee, and now that's what you're getting at McDonald's. And I don't know, I'd have to verify that, but I remember noticing, I was like, I feel like McDonald's has stepped up their coffee. Maybe I'm just drinking some Tim Hortons.
I couldn't tell you
what's going on there.
I don't know. And the things that you hear secondhand, just today, I've said two things that like I knew for certain that I looked up and they were completely wrong.
I was there for one of those.
Yeah. Yeah. I said that America is the most diverse country in the world. It's not. It's like Tunisia.
Well, everybody knows that.
Yeah. Which I didn't know.
No, I don't know.
I mean, it's, I thought maybe, I don't know. I don't know why I thought that. The other one was I said that the Coast Guard suffers the most casualties out of all the...
Yeah, you threw that. We were watching Baywatch and you threw that out there.
Yeah, and I looked it up and I was like, hey, that's not right. That doesn't sound right. Why do I think that's right?
You know what lie I told? Where someone brought it up to me.
It's the Marines, by the way.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I went around spreading this misinformation for a while, and then I finally, and someone was like very like, really? And then I looked it up. I was like, that's completely made up. Right. My thing was I was going around telling people, because someone had told me that ZZ Top had oil money before they were ZZ Top. That's not true at all. I said that for like 2 years.
Where'd you arrive to that? I think
my dad might have thrown it out there. He was like, those guys, I guess they had like oil money before. Right. And in reality, they were just from Texas.
Yes.
That was like, I think that was the extent of it. Like they were just Texans.
Right.
And he was like, oil money.
It's wild. I think about it now because there's so much disinformation on the internet, but like, are we more likely now to think we know things that are untrue, or were we more likely to think we know things that are untrue before the internet? Or is it just like cancel itself out?
I think it's been the same amount of just like people not knowing things and kind of riffing.
Yeah.
Like
sometimes I'll learn something and go, ooh, I've been saying the exact opposite of that for a while. I am a problem. Like I say things with such certainty and I am completely wrong a lot.
Right. I try to approach things from a place of like, this might be, I don't really know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, but
if you listen to this podcast, you're like, I heard Zach say it on Stop It and you think it's truth. No. Don't do that. Listen to this, but don't absorb anything that I say.
It's also like we're like, people need to nobody's an expert,
Right.
Like it's kind of like older people have no media literacy.
Uh-huh.
And then like I would say, meaning like they go, this is real, it's in Times New Roman online.
Right.
That's the same as a newspaper. Right. How would they get the Times New Roman if it wasn't legitimate?
Yeah.
And so older people don't have that media literacy, and then like younger people have more, but then they don't have like dude literacy.
Yeah.
Where you can't go like, yeah, but like I know that guy is saying that very matter-of-factly into a microphone like this.
Right.
But like maybe it's possible that guy is full of shit.
Right.
Like, what I mean?
And even like lie detectors, they detect the confidence of what they're saying.
Yeah.
Not if it's actually
true. Do they
true.
Believe it?
Exactly.
Yeah, you could believe it.
Yeah, I say all sorts of stuff.
You would have
passed. Doesn't mean it's right.
You would have passed it with flying colors.
I know.
The Coast Guard thing.
Right.
Because you thought what you were saying was true, but I don't know.
That's true. All right. Interesting. Okay. Whew.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, here's another one. There's too many serious questions in this.
Yeah, this has been heavy.
Maybe you gotta stop writing these in the morning. Can capitalism be reformed to address the issues it causes, or does it inherently require a radical systematic change?
I think we're due for some change.
Okay, good. We don't need it. That's enough, because let's get in some lighter fare.
How's about a draft 2?
Yeah. Do you have any words to live by?
No.
All right, good. You can save 15% by enrolling into our Stop It loyalty program. Would you like to sign up?
No, thank you.
All right. Do you ever sign up for prep like at the supermarket or whatever?
Once in a blue moon. Usually, if it makes it easier for me to like buy something I buy all the time.
Right.
Like there was a while where when I was living in LA, I was going to this Chipotle a lot.
Yeah.
But it was like a very busy Chipotle.
Yeah.
So it behooved you to order ahead. And so I got into the app because it was worth it to like place your order and then go in and pick it up, you know? Because it was like hard to park and stuff. And so like I'll do something like that where it's like somehow benefiting me, or like airline points, you know?
Sure.
I'll do that. But yeah, I think that's about it.
I don't like the fact that they track everything, but then also everything I do is tracked. So it's like, who cares?
Right.
Like at this point, like all my info is out there. Like it's just an illusion of privacy. Who cares if they know like how much toothpaste I buy?
Right.
Like they know a lot worse.
Well, that's the thing with the capitalism reform. I go, yeah, if you want to do that with like toothpaste, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, but just you can't do it with like human beings.
Human beings?
Yeah, human beings. Like you can't.
Oh, beans.
Like
not beans.
Healthcare can't be capitalism. Like you can't healthcare. You can't capitalism healthcare, but you could capitalism toothpaste or M&Ms. You know,
capitalism toothpaste. Yeah. No, I get it. Okay, next question. What's the best frozen pizza brand?
I like the. Oh man, the name's escaping me. It kind of looks like a boat.
A boat?
Yeah, those are good. Boat.
Boat?
Like it kind of looks like a little boat. You know, they're like French bread. You know what I'm talking about?
Like the Red Baron French bread?
Not Red Baron. Is it Stouffer's? I don't know. DiGiorno's pretty good too.
DiGiorno's not good.
Okay, I don't honestly fuck frozen pizza. Just get a real pizza.
No, frozen pizza is a joy of life.
I'll eat it if it's presented to me, but I just want a legitimate pizza.
I think frozen pizzas are legitimate pizzas. I mean, like I don't often push back on this show because like I really just want to respect it. Yeah. But honestly, frozen pizzas
it's delicious. I just always like if it's up to me, I'm just gonna get a regular pizza.
Right. Well, I gotta tell you that I feel like frozen pizzas have been a staple of my like diet for a long time. You
know a good frozen pizza? Trader Joe's.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't tried it.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was to choose one, I'd say Red Baron classic crust.
Yeah.
What I do is I put it.
Tombstone's a good one.
Tombstone's all right. You got to burn Tombstone a little bit.
I don't dislike
a little more crunchy than they want
frozen pizza. I like frozen pizza. I just would prefer a regular pizza.
I get that.
Yeah.
What's the best pizza then? If you're like Zach, I want to take you to the best pizza place. Where would you go?
The best pizza place? I mean, well, are we talking chains or are we talking like just a solid pizza?
Whatever you want.
Honestly, there's kind of in between like a regional chain, or actually they're kind of everywhere. Jets Pizza.
I know Jets.
Yeah, I'll fuck with Jets.
Yeah.
I eat plenty of Jets.
Detroit style,
yeah.
Is that that's just not tavern cut, but that's like a thicker tavern cut.
It's thick, yeah. It's like yay big.
Has the caramelized edges.
Yeah, it's in the square. You make it in a pan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's what makes it. And then if you're being like really legit, you like some people put the sauce on top if they're being, but I actually don't dislike that. I want the sauce under the cheese. But if you're being like authentic, it's like in a pan. I think sauce goes on top. You know,
I think lately there's been a lot of like, this is Detroit style, Chicago style, New York style. And I think St. Louis has a style.
I'm not familiar with St. Louis.
It's Emo's Pizza. Apparently, I've never had it.
Emo Pizza.
It's Emo Pizza. It cuts itself.
It's got a eyeliner.
Yeah. Like I think that's out of hand. When you're like, this is. Nevada style pizza.
I think Detroit style is legitimate.
Yeah,
and Chicago style is legitimate, and even New York. I'd say those three are distinct. Right. there's something unique about these genres. These are distinct genres of pizza. Maybe beyond that, you're just kind of.
But like, that's where you draw the line.
I think those are, yeah, because I'm like, those are all distinct. There's a difference. You are getting something different, you know?
Right. There can't be an Omaha-style pizza.
No, then you're just making shit up.
Yeah.
Because like Detroit-style pizza, that's been around like forever.
Right.
It's just now it's become like a national like thing. But they didn't come up with that like 5 years ago. That was around for like decades and decades and decades.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's enough pizza.
Man, I felt better about that one than the other ones.
You ever get in a fist fight?
No, I'm like a funny guy.
You've never gotten in a fist fight?
No.
Okay.
Why are you gonna? Why? I'm gonna like. What you? Why?
I don't know. Like people get in fights every once in a while.
Yeah,
I mean, not
pretty
as an
chill.
adult. I think like I got in some fights.
My brother and I would like swing on each other, but that's like different,
right?
You know,
I went to a lot.
That's roughhousing,
right? I went to a lot of hardcore shows growing up. There were some fights there, but it was
I didn't go to a lot of hardcore shows. That's probably what it was.
Okay.
Because that's probably, it's like a lot of guys, and then they're like, you get elbowed in the head and you freak out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's just a lot of testosterone.
Yeah. Same with hockey fights. Just like if you're moving fast and like hitting each other, then you're gonna lose your temper.
Not a lot of fights of the.
Yeah, because I remember like getting shoved in like gym class and like hitting my head on something and like seeing red for like a minute and then nothing happened.
Right.
But I was like mad and like could have easily escalated to that place. But I guess that's probably most. It's like someone gets bonked, then you get mad.
Right.
And then I saw two of my friends the other night. It was like a couple, and they were trying to like kind of pass each other in a crowded room, and they like bonked heads.
Oh no!
And they just both needed a second to be like, pfft.
Right.
Because it does like make you like furious for half a second.
Yeah. It takes two to tango. If you're if you're not willing to fight or like even think of that as an option, you're not going to fight. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because one person can be a complete out of control maniac. Yeah. That doesn't mean looking for a fight. They have to find another out of control maniac to fight.
Yeah, it just hasn't come, knock on wood. They're just actually, there was a guy in Boulder once where I was fully prepared to hit him.
Really?
But yeah, just because I was so, I think like the altitude got to me.
Yeah, the fighting altitude.
And then I was very tired. It was like the last day of a really long run. I think altitude was actually a factor. He heckled during like my opener. And then I did the show, kind of like had to dig out of that hole. And then he heckled during like my closer.
Oh boy!
And I was like, I was just annoyed with the guy. I was so mad. And then kind of got through it, got off stage. But like the moment I got off stage, he was like right here.
Yeah.
And I was like, because like I like turned my phone off. I look up, he's like right here, and he's drunk.
Oh.
And he was just like, and I'm like a pretty chill guy.
Right.
And he's like right here, and I already hate this guy. And he's just like right here. He's like, let me buy you a beer. Yeah. And I was just like, dude, you need to get away from me like right now.
Right.
And there was a comic, Samuk Torgulkar was there, and he was with it, and I'm like, oh, he's got to think I'm like a maniac. Because on stage I'm like very like easygoing and chill, and then I was like, I'll fucking kill you if you don't get away from me right now to this drunk guy. But nothing happened.
Right.
He just was like, he went, jeez.
Was he one of those dudes that was just like, I was helping you, bro?
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah,
like
drunk and annoying and just stuff, and I was just exhausted and like just was like, I said something like, It's hard enough doing that shit without you yelling stupid shit at me. Get the fuck away from me. Something like that. But that was like, yeah, like being like, had that guy like poked me or something, I probably would have freaked out.
Yeah.
But so it's not like I've never been in a fist fight or anything. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
pretty easygoing.
I think once you reach a certain age, it stops becoming an option.
Oh yeah,
at least it should.
Yeah, that's like a mature. That's like a teenager thing.
Yeah,
or a
20s,
early 20s. Yeah,
especially when you're first like drinking out in public.
Yeah, you don't know how to be. And,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the hardest you've ever laughed?
Man, there's been a lot of.
Just give me a good one.
You know what? It wasn't the hardest I've ever laughed, but just recently, something that pops into my head was, I got my buddy gave me a weed gummy, and I try to like stay. I don't even mess with edibles anymore, you know. And he gave me one, and it just hit me just right, and I was like watching Bar Rescue, and I was like, I was dying. I was cracking up so hard because this one, I was going to say this won't really translate, but we're in front of a green screen, and the bar looked like this. It was bright green.
Yeah.
And then it's just you're on Bar Rescue, and your bar is bright green. They never had a chance. He's yelling at them so much.
John Taffer would hate that.
Oh, yeah. I tried to do like a joke about it because I was making up stuff he was saying, like, but I was being like, can I ask you something? Are we the pit crew for Gravedigger? Then why is the bar bright fucking green? I'm just trying to figure out one thing. Are we on the red carpet at the Kids' Choice Awards? There's just no way to defend a highlighter green bar.
right, yeah.
And I've been trying to do some Bar Rescue jokes, and I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
But it's something like you can't even joke about it because anything you say, people just believe happened.
Yeah, he's out of his.
I was
gourd.
like, I was trying to do a joke of like, have you seen the Bar Rescue where the Bar Rescue guy fires a single bullet in the air? But the problem is everyone's just like, I haven't seen that one. Everyone just believes it, you know?
Right.
What was the other thing I had? I said the Bar Rescue guy, he has a name. But,
John Taffer.
Yeah, but I don't want to say it because a lot of the places I perform, it feels like a Beetlejuice situation.
Yeah, right.
I'm wearing no showing. But the Bar Rescue guy, he looks like he would play Heartburn in a Pepto-Bismol commercial.
That's good.
He'd be like, I'm Heartburn.
Yeah, it talks about what needs to change in the stomach.
No one likes when I show up at the barbecue.
Yeah.
I'm Heartburn. That's how he looks.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was cracking up watching Bar Rescue. Good. One time in high school, my friend, I had you have like an assignment notebook. And it was like a notebook like yay big, and it was like a picture like a Bible, I guess, and then it was thick, and you had your subjects. And you'd write down your assignments, and then at the bottom it had like to do. I don't even remember what it was, but one of my friends wrote some like a joke in the to do, like something like nasty or whatever. And then and I had it in my hand like that. And he was like, "Hey, look at that!" And he had written a joke away, and I had it in my hand, and in like one fluid motion, I turned my hand and I threw it at him, but like a pie.
Yeah.
I just completely one flick. Just threw the note, and it just slapped him square in the face, and it made such a funny sound.
Yeah.
I could not get it together after that. It was like I was laughing so hard.
That's good. Yeah.
Because it didn't hurt him or anything. It just made such a on his face. And he also provoked it, so it was just like he kind of like started it, and it just was I died laughing. I remember.
We have like 5 minutes left.
Okay,
so now is the time where you plug your stuff real quick before we go and plug, and we'll draw one more.
All right, YouTube special on YouTube. Join the mailing list. The mailing list is a Google form, by the way. It's like you tell me your city. And then your email or your phone number, and then when I headline in your city, I'll let you know. Or if I put out a special, I'll let you know. And so watch the special, and if you like it, join the mailing list. And then there's also a podcast, you know?
Yeah.
And follow me on Instagram, too, because I don't care about that one as much, but it's people care about. Dumb people I need to impress the worst people on earth.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, same thing with me. Do all that. Rate, review, subscribe. Remember, you can submit your own questions when you go to stopitpod.com. There's a form on there where you can submit your questions so they can be asked to the future guests. So you should do that.
You need a separate bucket for the listeners, I think.
I'm just going to put it all in there. It's just a bunch of big soup.
Oh, okay.
Big soup of questions.
Well, you did make a distinction that's a listener
I will.
question.
I'll put who wrote in it, and I'll say their name.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. Last question.
Here we go.
Make it count.
All right.
Did you watch Sesame Street as a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Did you have a favorite guy?
I would say Cookie Monster.
Oh, you gotta love Cookie Monster.
Yeah. You know, he got political, but it's hard to stay mad at him. You know?
How do you get political?
Super anti-vax. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When did this happen?
I forget what pod. He was on some pod, and like it was like just weird. It just got like dark and weird, you know. Because
I think it was Toll House's pod. Toll House.
Yeah. They got into the pod game. Mm-hmm. Cookie Monster's a lot of fun.
Right. Anyone you don't like on there?
No, I think I'm cool with everybody.
Yeah, I wasn't a big Grover fan, to be honest.
Dude, you know what?
Yeah.
It did kind of cross my mind, and then I erred on the side of indifference. But Grover.
I wish Grover would just grow back.
Too much screen time.
Exactly.
I think maybe he was overexposed.
Right.
It's like, can we get Snuffleupagus for 2 seconds?
Exactly. Yeah. Also, when I think about Sesame Street,
are you trying to pop a rating or what? Get Snuffleupagus. Yeah. No one's flipping the channel while that's going on.
Right. I also think Sesame Street gave us a false idea.
Is Snuffleupagus alive?
I don't know. I think Sesame Street gave us a false impression of what to expect from vampires.
That they just like math.
Yeah, it's like he's going to count a lot of stuff. He's going to be pretty, into his own stuff instead of killing people.
Serious question, not trying to be funny here. Did they do count? Okay.
Yeah.
The counted.
Yeah.
Did they do a witch that spells?
Whoa. They didn't, but that's like if you were at a pitch meeting with Jim Henson in the 60s.
Yeah.
He'd carry you out on his shoulders or as a puppet, because that's what he mostly did. I'm just
working on this Muppet wavelength. I kind of look like a Muppet. I think that's what it is.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I think that's really good.
Someone told me, they were like, you kind of look like a Muppet. And as a comedian, I was like, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
Yeah.
That's like such a high compliment for a comedian.
You want to look like a Muppet.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. You've been watching Stop It with Zach Peterson. Now you can stop it.
Have a good one. Bye.
All right.
We got it. That was fun.